Kind of give us the whole backstory of how you got here.
Cool. So, after high school, I went to Texas, went and played baseball, and then I hopped around to a couple different colleges, and then try to make it short and sweet. It's a long story.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of got sick, and I had to quit playing baseball. So I moved back home with my mom, had to drop out of school, and I was at my mom's house, and she lived in the middle of nowhere in Wisner, Nebraska, and there was nothing to do, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video of how to, like, cure this disease that I have, which there's no cure for it. So then, I just got really bored, so I couldn't leave the house because I was too sick, so I would just walk around the yard and try to take pictures, but I couldn't figure out how to use the camera because it was, professional camera.
Yeah.
I spent a bunch of money on for some stupid reason. And then, I watched a ton of YouTube videos how to use it. And then I actually bought a GoPro. Started doing some GoPro pictures because that takes, like, no talent to just click the button,
Yeah.
It just does it for you. And then my buddy, Josh Peterson, was like, yo, you should use that expensive camera you have. I was like, all right. So I started, like, getting heavy into, like, YouTube videos. Like, YouTube's a huge platform to learn. Like, instead of going to photography school, you just go to YouTube school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's free. So I started watching YouTube videos and drifted away from video because I started with video, and it just took too long to edit. And then I have friends that are good at it, and they just made my videos look terrible. So then I just started focusing on photography because, the editing time is cut in half. And started posting, got some good traction right away, got featured on some big feature pages for photographers, and then, like, before you know it, like rappers started seeing it. I think, like, the first rapper I worked with was, like, Hobson, and like, it's just crazy how Instagram made my career. Like, if there's no Instagram, there's no Jayson. There's no photography.
So you've been heavy with the Instagram.
Heavy with it. So I think my phone, like the iPhones, they have, like, that usage. It tells you. I think it said I was on it, like, 16 hours a day.
Oh, shit.
So what I would do is, like, I needed money, but I hated shooting, like, I didn't hate it. I just disliked shooting weddings and family photos and, like, baby photos. It's just not creative. So what I would do is I would hit these companies up and I'd be like, hey, send me out your product. I'll give you some shots for free. And I would try to establish a relationship with these people. And then eventually they're like, oh, well, I love your photos. How much do you charge for monthly photos? So basically, instead of them going to a PR company or a photography company, they cut that middleman out and they just come to me, and they only spend $300 to $500. So they're saving a ton of money. Plus, then I get featured on their page. Plus, that makes my Instagram growth go up.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, win-win, especially for me. So then I don't have to do those shoots I don't want to do. It's basically, like, I got 30 days. It takes me 1 day to do the shots for them.
So how did Hobson hit you up? He just, like...
Yeah, I just do Instagram.
No kidding, he just seen your work and said, hey, man.
So that was, like, with Futuristic, which was crazy, because I was a big Futuristic fan.
I seen you were backstage for that Hibachi.
Yeah, the Hibachi video in LA.
That was sick, yeah.
So what the funny thing is, he was coming to town, and long story short, like, sometimes I get the gigs through the venue. I'll hit the venue up or the promoter. I'll be like, hey, do you care if I come shoot? But there's a place called Woolies in Des Moines. They host tons of events.
Oh, yeah, I know Woolies. Yeah, B-Will's down there.
Yeah, B-Will performs at Woolies. Yeah. And so my friend Nish, he's my intern. He goes to Iowa State, and he signed up for the show, like, 9 months in advance. It's whoever signs up first gets a show. It's not like who's the best, which kind of sucks. So he was sick, and he was like, bro, I can't make it. Do you think you can fill in for me? And then give me some of the photos. And I was like, yeah, I'll say you took them. I don't care. Not a big deal. And so I posted on my Instagram, shooting Futuristic, Tech 9, and Dizzy Wright. Not saying, like, I was only doing it for the venue. I was, like, kind of promoting it.
Yeah.
And then Futuristic saw it, because I tagged him in it, and he was like, bro, can you please show up to my set early and get some shots of me?
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I called B-Will right away, and I was freaking. I was like, what do I do? And he was like, I don't know, take some Xanax or something, calm down. Because I was freaking, because I was a Futurist. I was actually a bigger Dizzy Wright fan at the time, because Dizzy was huge when I was in college. Dope. And so I showed up to the venue. He was really dope. He's actually as tall as I am, because I'm not very tall.
Yeah, I know that day I seen you, I got to meet all of them. They're all three of them are pretty short.
Yeah, very short. And I was like, man, that makes me feel a lot better, because I'm not very tall. But that was a cool point. So then we built a relationship, and then he was like, yo, I have our last stop in Sioux City. Do you want to shoot there? I was like, yeah, I'm actually from Sioux City. So he was like, dope, come down, bring a friend. So I brought my friend Rachel with me. And so we showed up early, you know, gambled a little bit, and it was dope. And he was like, yeah, I'm looking, he's like, the reason I didn't bring anybody on tour is because I'm looking for a new person, you know, a photographer, videographer.
Oh, shit.
And my last videographer is now MGK's full-time videographer. And the one before that is now Joey Badass's full-time videographer. So it's a good track record. And I was like, shit.
I'd say so.
So, you know, I was telling him, I was like, yo, that could be me. And he was just like, can you do video? I was like, yeah, I can do video, but my camera's not really built for video. Like, if I upgrade my gear, easily could do video. And he's like, all right, you know, let me know when you do that. So then we didn't really talk. So he sent me some merch and to take pictures for it. And so we didn't really talk too much. And then he saw that I was in LA. So he was like, hey, bro, I'm coming to LA for a week. How about you come with me and my boys for the whole week? And I was like, crap. Because I was doing work with IO Jewelry at the time. We were working with Boo Johnson, famous skateboarder.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was like, I can only be there for like 2 of the days, which sucks. That would help like build a relationship with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, networking's everything in this.
Huge.
Yeah.
Because like you said when I was at the hibachi video, so he hit me up and he was like, so we hung out for a couple days and he's like, yo, I got this hibachi video we're gonna do you want to come? I was like, yeah. So I was chilling at my friend Haley's. And he sent me the location. It was like 5 blocks away. So I was like, yes, because LA, you know, 5 blocks is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So then we go to the set, and, you know, I met Jake Owens, really famous videographer, makes like all the big artist videos. And the thing, like you said, networking. So I would see people there, because, you know, there's a bunch of people that he knew, friends and family.
Yeah.
And I'd go around and introduce myself, like, yo, what's up? And like, they're like these cameramen who like, pay Jake Owens just to follow him and stuff like that, like $1,000. And I'm like, shit. I wouldn't waste $1,000. And they were like, oh, dude, we were wondering, like, how do you know Futuristic? I was like, oh, we're good friends. I was like, how do you know him? He's like, oh, we're here with Jake, you know, following him around. But then I met like a bunch of different people, which led to a bunch more jobs. Just through that, just by being able to go and talk to people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You get out there, see people's faces, they see yours. It's like, oh, you do this, and I need this.
Exactly. Know. So I was like, this kid's like, yo, take a picture of me. You know, we become friends, and then take a picture of me, and then, you know, I took those pictures for Futuristic, and then he uses them to sponsor his ads on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So then you're like, holy shit, you know. And then I got to bring one of my friends, and she was a huge Futuristic fan, and she got pictures with him, and they're just dope dudes. Because I met some like rappers, you know, and they're just kind of douchey.
Yeah,
you know, too big for you. But Futuristic and Dizzy are crazy dope.
Well, you can kind of tell that in their music. There are, you know, not only is their music very positive and has a good message behind it, but the lives they lead are actually, you know, reflect that.
Right.
Because they're good dudes, you know. I've met both of them myself too, and they're very humble, very nice, easy to talk to.
Exactly. Yeah, like Futuristic, he doesn't... I was like, why don't you live in LA? And he was like, well, I moved to LA to, like, pop off. And then as soon as I moved to LA, as soon as I popped off, I moved out of LA. So now he owns 2 houses in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
To stay away from, like, the LA kind of bullshit, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of BS that goes on there.
So much, which is crazy.
You just got back from there, right? You were out there for 3 months?
So I'm out there since January.
Okay.
And then I just got a gig in Paris, so now I'm coming back to like visit family for a little bit. And
yeah, tell us about the Paris thing.
So that's funny. So I was out in LA. I ran. You ever do sponsored ads on Instagram?
No, I haven't. No.
So I haven't either, but I saw like there was like it pops up sometimes that you can run an ad, and it was like, oh, Facebook gives you free $30. So I was like, fuck it, let's try it. So I ran like 2 days, $15 a piece. And I posted a picture of a girl with like some lights around her head or something.
Okay.
And then I get an email from Ubisoft, the video game company that created Halo and Assassin's Creed.
Oh, nice.
And it was like, hey, Jason, we created this game called Is It Love? It was a huge success in Europe. We're looking to do a volume 2. Are you interested? We need someone who can shoot landscape and girls, like good pictures of women. And I was like, someone's fucking with me. Like somebody's messing with me. So, you know, I Googled the email because, you know, like the EDU was like Ubisoft, so they couldn't like fake it. And so then like I hit the lady up. Well, it was a lady, and I was like, how about you call me? I'm definitely interested. So she calls me. She barely speaks any English.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, yeah, so the job will consist of you flying out to Quebec to our headquarters, and then we fly over to Paris for a couple weeks, and then we fly to New York City for a couple weeks. And then depending on like how that goes, you go farther. So
what was the first thing that ran through your head when you heard that?
I was like, I'm buying a whole bunch of new camera shit. Because, you know, Ubisoft's such a big company, obviously they're gonna pay some good money.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this is finally a gig where I don't have to mess with rappers. Like, there's nothing wrong with messing with rappers, but it's better when you get, like, with a company, because that has benefits.
Yeah.
You know, like health coverage and stuff like that.
So is it kind of like union or no?
Like what?
Is it kind of like union or unionized or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know working with rappers, it can be it can be good or it could not be good. So.
It's different because you're just a video guy to them. You're not like the homie.
Yeah.
Which is cool though, because like if you can talk, because they're like when they look for photographers and videographers, they want someone who can shoot, but they want someone that they could like go to the strip club with or like you know, party with or be friends with.
Yeah.
So you got to have like both sides. So it's not who can shoot the best.
Yeah.
Because everybody shoots about the same or, you know, somewhat better. But you also have to like relate to them and they want to be your friend.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that because I think a lot of people, they miss the ball sometimes on just how important it is to be a good human being.
Exactly.
And that's going to take you, you know, a long ways in life. Because not always about what you know, it's about who you know and, you know, the person that you are.
Yeah, it's all about who you know. Like, that's the one thing I tell people, because I have friends that, like, will turn down jobs because they're not getting paid enough. And I'm like, bro, it's not... It's like, yeah, there's a point in time where you do free work to build a portfolio, and then you charge people, because you can't charge people right off the bat. You have no, you know, backup. You have no portfolio.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but I was, like, telling one of my buddies, like, I was like, we're shooting Boo Johnson, famous skateboarder, 600,000 followers. He's sponsored by Weed Maps, Dirty Ghetto Kids. He has his own skateboard line, own shoe line with Vans. And we weren't getting paid for it, obviously.
Yeah.
But we got to go to his penthouse. We got to meet all his friends.
Exactly.
And just, like, you know, like, that's what you have to do.
Yep.
Because then that leads to other gigs. And then when he posted one of my photos, my profile views went to, like, 50,000.
Yeah.
You know, just by his post. So obviously I didn't make any money, but I'm building connections off of it.
Yeah. Getting paid in exposure.
It's long term. I remember Futuristic was telling me that his photographer, that's now MGK's photographer, did tons of free work. And then, because that's what you have to do in the beginning, is like, oh, a company hits you up, you don't just say, this is my price, because they're like, so you put in that work with that company, show them you can do it, then they start doing it. And then he did some work for a free company, and then MGK called that company, they're like, hey, we're looking for a video guy. And they're like, yeah, we know this hardworking kid that worked with us last week. Called him up. Now he's their full-time videographer. MGK's full-time videographer.
Wow. That just goes to show, you know.
But that's the hard thing. Like, nowadays, you have to be good at video and photo because they don't want to pay two separate people.
Oh, okay.
And tour buses aren't big enough for two.
They want the whole
people.
package.
They want someone who can do both.
All right. How does, do you know anything about audio, or how does audio fit into
I mean, I have a Rode mic.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
But. So you can have a little bit of knowledge and get by.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Like audio's not that big of a deal. Like because you can always like fake it in post.
Oh, okay.
You can put your own like effects in post.
Yep.
But like for the interviews, like the Rode mic's good.
Yep.
You know, like these clips are good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't personally have one, but because I mostly do photos.
Right.
But that's one thing. Like for my career, I'm gonna have to step up and get back into video.
So this is a lifelong career, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So then the Paris thing, then just see how that goes, and the sky's the limit from there, huh?
Yeah, so basically with the Paris thing, try to save up the money from the Paris gig, start a new career in LA. Because, you know, when I was out there, it was rough. Like, I thought it was going to be like how everybody thinks LA is, you know, awesome.
Yeah.
It's not. It's actually really dirty.
Yeah, I've been out there. I spent a weekend out there on Venice Beach, and yeah, it was...
yeah, Venice is kind of rough.
Yeah, it was.
Which I'm surprised because everybody talks about Venice being so cool, you know, and I was like... But yeah.
Yes, yeah. We were walking down the pier, and you know the scenery's nice, but
yeah,
the city itself is a little dirty, and
a lot of homeless people, unfortunately.
A lot of homeless people, unfortunately. Yeah.
They're ballsy too.
They're very ballsy because it's normal out there.
Yeah,
you know?
like they're not scared to come up and like, hey, give me $1.
Yeah.
Yo, give me $1.
Yeah, you got a cigarette.
Yeah, you got a cigarette. That I get that all the time.
Yeah, that never fails.
Oh my god, that's funny. I had that happen a million times.
Yeah, that never fails. You got a cigarette.
But LA, yeah, like I went out there in January because I had my lease run up, and I was like, because I had a bunch of connections that I made with like, you know, professional rappers and dancers and just like influencers, and I was like, and they're all like, yeah, we love to work with you, but you're in Iowa. We can just hire somebody here who might not be as good, but he's right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So then my lease like ran short for some, like we had a little altercation with our apartment, and I was like, I can get back in another lease, or I can just take off to California. So I was like, called up my contacts, called up Futuristic. I was like, yo, I'm coming to California. Let's work. So, yeah. So I work for Skunk Bags, the smell-proof backpack company. So I was like, yo, I'm coming out to California. So I brought my video guy with me. Ended up getting him a full-time job with Skunk, which is dope. So he's still out there right now.
Oh, nice.
Making some big connections. And it was good because he put us in a hotel for 2 weeks. So that was the life. Like, we'd work for Skunk all day, go out, shoot, come back, shower, go party.
Oh, nice.
After parties. We're hanging out with, like, Nate Diaz.
Oh, Nate Diaz?
The famous UFC fighters.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was crazy. We were hanging out with Kid Rock's lead guitarist.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it was crazy. And then Jimmy left. He had to come back and figure some stuff out. So we came back for, like, 4 days. Then we went back out there. And it just wasn't the same because we didn't have a place to stay. So, like, the money we saved was going to, like, Airbnbs and, like, Ubers because we didn't have a car.
Yep.
And money ran out fast.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find, like, any gig we could. I just remember, like, sleeping on people's couches, sleeping in, like, 30 people hostels.
Oh.
It was the roughest shit I've ever went through. But it paid off because we made some really big connections. Like, my buddy's working with Ray J now, and he's looking for a photographer. But I can't really do that until I get back from Paris. So...
Damn.